Facing challenges head-on is one of the most fundamental paths to personal growth, resilience, and success. Life is filled with trials and tests that can either break us down or build us up, depending on how we approach them. When we meet challenges directly, we allow ourselves to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing future obstacles. However, in a society that often encourages quick fixes and comfort, many people avoid confronting difficulties, choosing instead the path of least resistance. This approach may seem appealing in the short term, but ultimately limits us, leaving us feeling unfulfilled, weak, and stuck. To understand why it is essential to confront challenges, we must first acknowledge that challenges are an inherent part of life. They are not punishments or signs that something is wrong, but are rather opportunities for learning and growth. Facing challenges gives us a unique opportunity to look inward, assess our abilities, and strengthen areas of our lives that may be lacking. This journey of confronting and overcoming obstacles leads to self-awareness and self-confidence, providing a foundation upon which we can build our future. When we avoid challenges, we deprive ourselves of the opportunity to evolve. Often the fear of failure or the desire for comfort keeps us from taking on difficult situations. However, avoiding a problem does not make it disappear. In many cases, it only grows larger, making it even more difficult to address later. Moreover, by running from challenges, we are essentially telling ourselves that we are not strong enough to handle them. This message chips away at our self-esteem, leaving us feeling disempowered and increasingly unable to confront difficulties. But by facing our fears and struggles, we send ourselves a very different message: I am capable, I am strong, and I can handle this. Over time, this mindset builds a solid foundation of confidence and inner strength. Furthermore, facing challenges allows us to develop resilience. Resilience is not something we are born with. It is built through experiences that test our limits and force us to adapt and persevere. Each time we encounter a difficulty and overcome it, we add to our resilience bank, equipping ourselves with the tools needed to handle future problems with less stress and fear. Resilient people are often happier and more successful because they have learned to cope with adversity without being overwhelmed by it. They see setbacks as temporary and challenges as a chance to learn, rather than as threats to their well-being. One common reason people avoid facing challenges is the fear of failure. Society often stigmatizes failure, labeling it as something to be ashamed of. But the truth is that failure is a natural and essential part of growth. Every successful person, from athletes to entrepreneurs, has faced failure, often many times over. The difference is that they did not allow these failures to define them or stop them from pursuing their goals. Instead, they used their failures as learning experiences, understanding what went wrong and figuring out how to improve in the future. When we shift our perspective and view failure as feedback rather than a final outcome, we become more willing to face challenges, knowing that even if we stumble, we will emerge stronger and wiser. Facing challenges head-on also helps us build problem-solving skills. When we encounter a difficult situation, we are often forced to think creatively, to look for solutions we may not have previously considered. This process of analyzing a problem, brainstorming potential solutions, and implementing a plan of action is invaluable, as it not only helps us to resolve the immediate issue, but also teaches us how to tackle future problems more effectively. Over time, we become more resourceful, able to approach challenges with a calm, analytical mind instead of reacting with fear or avoidance. Another significant benefit of facing challenges is the personal satisfaction that comes with conquering them. Few things are as empowering as overcoming a difficult obstacle. The sense of accomplishment we feel when we tackle a challenge fuels our self-worth, reminding us of our capabilities and strengths. This feeling of achievement stays with us, motivating us to take on even greater challenges. On the contrary, when we avoid difficulties, we miss out on this feeling of pride and fulfillment, often feeling stagnant and dissatisfied with ourselves. Facing challenges is also an essential aspect of personal responsibility. When we take ownership of our lives and our problems, we move away from a victim mentality and toward empowerment. Life will always throw obstacles in our path, but it is up to us to decide whether we will let these obstacles dictate our lives or whether we will take control and face them. Taking personal responsibility means acknowledging that while we may not always have control over what happens to us, we do have control over how we respond. When we accept this responsibility, we are more likely to approach challenges with a proactive, solution-focused mindset rather than feeling helpless or overwhelmed. Lastly, facing challenges head-on strengthens our relationships. People respect and admire those who are willing to tackle difficult situations rather than avoiding them. This approach builds trust, as others know they can rely on us to handle adversity with integrity and courage. In turn, we are more likely to attract supportive, like-minded individuals who value growth and resilience. Facing challenges also teaches us empathy, as we learn what it feels like to struggle and can offer support and understanding to others going through similar difficulties. In conclusion, facing challenges head-on is not just about overcoming individual obstacles, it's about transforming our entire approach to life. When we develop the courage to confront difficulties, we build resilience, confidence, problem-solving skills, and a deeper sense of self-worth. We become better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way, knowing that we have faced and overcome hardship before. By embracing challenges instead of shying away from them, we allow ourselves to grow into stronger, more capable versions of ourselves. So the next time you encounter a challenge, remember, don't run from it. Face it. Embrace it. And watch yourself grow. Getting out of your comfort zone is a powerful concept, though it's something most of us instinctively resist. By definition, a comfort zone is a place where we feel safe, secure, and in control. It is familiar, predictable, and often effortless to navigate. While the comfort zone feels good, staying within it can be limiting. Growth, development, and even fulfillment occur when we push past what's comfortable and step into the unknown. Many of the most successful and happiest people attribute their achievements to challenging themselves, risking discomfort, and embracing change. However, moving beyond comfort can feel daunting, and it takes a deliberate shift in mindset to embrace this path. The comfort zone, while often perceived as safe, has a hidden cost. It keeps us stuck in a routine that, over time, can feel stagnant and unsatisfying. When we operate on autopilot, doing the same things day after day, we may avoid discomfort, but we also limit our potential. Human beings are wired for growth, learning, and change. Without these, we become unfulfilled and even bored. Staying comfortable prevents us from achieving our goals and realizing our fullest potential. The more we avoid challenging ourselves, the easier it becomes to settle for less, sometimes without even realizing it. This pattern can eventually lead to regret, as we recognize that we never pushed ourselves to see what we were truly capable of achieving. Leaving the comfort zone means confronting the unfamiliar, which can be unsettling and intimidating. However, growth requires us to stretch beyond what is familiar. When we take risks, try new things, or put ourselves in challenging situations, we are forced to learn and adapt. This is where growth happens, as we develop new skills, gain knowledge, and build resilience. Think about an athlete training for a marathon. They don't improve by running the same short distance every day. They gradually increase their distance and pace, pushing their bodies to adapt to greater demands. Similarly, by pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones, we expand our capabilities and learn to handle new challenges with confidence. One of the greatest benefits of getting out of the comfort zone is the development of confidence and self-assurance. Every time we try something unfamiliar or challenging and succeed, we reinforce the belief that we can handle whatever comes our way. This success builds confidence, helping us become more open to new experiences and less afraid of taking risks. Conversely, if we always avoid challenges, we reinforce the notion that we aren't capable or resilient enough to face them. When we see that we can manage difficult situations, we gradually develop a sense of courage, trusting in our own abilities. Over time, this courage becomes an integral part of who we are, allowing us to approach challenges with a sense of optimism rather than fear. Stepping out of our comfort zones also expands our perspective on life. We gain a broader understanding of ourselves, of other people, and of the world around us. Imagine moving to a new city, traveling to an unfamiliar country, or taking up a new hobby. These experiences expose us to new cultures, different ways of thinking, and fresh perspectives. They open our minds to possibilities we may never have considered. By breaking the confines of our usual routines, we see life from a variety of angles, helping us grow in empathy, awareness, and understanding. This broadened perspective can also reveal new passions or interests, sparking creativity and excitement in ways we may not expect. While the idea of leaving the comfort zone sounds simple, the reality can be challenging. Humans are creatures of habit, and our brains are wired to seek familiarity as a survival mechanism. The unknown can trigger fear or anxiety, which may keep us from taking the leap. However, it's essential to remember that fear is not inherently negative. In fact, a certain level of discomfort or nervousness is a sign that we are pushing ourselves. The key is to reframe this fear not as a warning, but as a signal of opportunity. Instead of letting discomfort keep us stagnant, we can use it as a motivator to take action and face our fears. The more we confront these fears, the more we realize they are often smaller and more manageable than they first appeared. Taking small steps outside of the comfort zone is a great way to start. We don't have to leap into the unknown. Gradual shifts are effective in building resilience and confidence. For example, if speaking in public is a fear, start by speaking up in small meetings or practicing with friends. If taking on a new skill or hobby feels intimidating, start by dedicating a few minutes each day to learning and improving. By consistently challenging ourselves in incremental ways, we gain experience and build the mental muscle needed to tackle bigger goals. Each step, no matter how small, adds to a foundation of strength and confidence that makes larger challenges seem more achievable. An important aspect of getting out of the comfort zone is learning to embrace failure as part of the process. Often, the fear of failure keeps us rooted in comfort. We worry about making mistakes, looking foolish, or not meeting expectations. However, failure is a natural and necessary part of growth. When we fail, we learn, adapt, and try again with a new approach. Each failure brings us closer to success, and in many cases teaches us more than success itself. Embracing failure as a learning tool instead of fearing it can transform how we approach challenges. Instead of seeing failure as an endpoint, we begin to view it as a stepping stone on the path to personal development. Ultimately, stepping out of the comfort zone is an investment in ourselves. It's a journey that not only brings new skills and experiences but also fosters personal transformation. When we embrace challenges, we unlock potential we may have never realized we had. We become more adaptable, confident, and resilient, equipped to face future obstacles with a mindset of growth and possibility. And perhaps most importantly, we live a life free from the limitations that come with comfort. We create a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment, knowing that we are truly living up to our fullest potential. In the end, life is too short to spend it in comfort alone. Growth, discovery, and fulfillment lie on the other side of fear. So let's take that first step, let's face the unknown, and let's see just how far we can go. When we move beyond what's comfortable, we not only discover more about the world but also unlock the limitless potential within ourselves. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It involves recognizing that, while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we do have the power to control our reactions, choices, and ultimately the trajectory of our lives. Responsibility is not a burden but an opportunity to shape our own lives, build self-respect, and cultivate resilience. By taking ownership of our actions, decisions, and mindset, we empower ourselves to break free from limitations and take charge of our path. Many people resist the idea of personal responsibility, sometimes because it feels easier to blame others, circumstances, or external factors for the outcomes they face. However, relying on external factors to dictate our lives often leads to frustration, stagnation, and dissatisfaction. When we rely on others or on circumstances to improve, we give away our power and remain stuck in a cycle of passivity and helplessness. In contrast, taking responsibility shifts us into a proactive mindset, one that encourages self-improvement and learning from both successes and failures. It allows us to become architects of our lives rather than passive participants. One crucial aspect of taking responsibility for your life is acknowledging the role that your choices play in shaping your experiences. Every decision we make, from how we spend our time to how we interact with others, contributes to the quality of our lives. Taking responsibility means recognizing that each of these decisions, no matter how small, has a cumulative effect. For instance, if we consistently choose to procrastinate or avoid challenges, we limit our opportunities for growth. On the other hand, if we make decisions that align with our goals and values, we set ourselves up for a life of fulfillment and achievement. Accepting this truth requires a willingness to look honestly at our habits and choices, as well as the courage to make changes where necessary. Taking responsibility also means reframing our relationship with failure and setbacks. Many people fear failure, seeing it as a reflection of their worth or abilities. But failure is often one of the greatest teachers, providing insights into areas that need improvement. When we accept responsibility, we stop blaming external circumstances for our setbacks and start looking for the lessons within them. Instead of saying, "I didn't succeed because the situation was unfair," we ask, "What could I have done differently? And how can I use this experience to grow?" This shift in perspective not only makes us more resilient, but also allows us to learn and improve with each attempt. Another powerful aspect of taking responsibility is the ability to cultivate self-discipline and accountability. Responsibility is not a one-time decision, but an ongoing commitment to making choices that align with our goals, values, and aspirations. Discipline is a core component of responsibility, as it helps us to stay on track even when we feel unmotivated or tempted to take the easy way out. Self-discipline involves setting standards for ourselves and adhering to them, regardless of external circumstances. When we hold ourselves accountable, we build trust in our ability to follow through on our commitments, which in turn strengthens our self-esteem and belief in our potential. Taking responsibility also means taking control of our mindset. Our thoughts shape our reality, influencing how we perceive and respond to life. A person who blames others or external events for their struggles often develops a mindset of victimhood, feeling helpless or dependent on others for happiness. But by choosing to take responsibility, we shift from a reactive mindset to a proactive one, recognizing that while we may not be able to change every situation, we can always change how we respond. This mindset empowers us to face challenges with optimism and resilience rather than succumbing to negativity or self-pity. A key component of responsibility is letting go of excuses. Excuses often serve as a means to avoid accountability, but they ultimately limit our growth and success. When we make excuses for our behavior, we shield ourselves from the discomfort of self-reflection and from the changes that would lead to improvement. Whether it's blaming time constraints, lack of resources, or other people, excuses hinder our progress and prevent us from achieving our potential. Taking responsibility requires a commitment to honesty, acknowledging when we've fallen short, and making adjustments to do better in the future. It's about recognizing that while circumstances may not always be ideal, we have the power to make the most of what we have. Taking responsibility for your life also transforms your relationships. When we take ownership of our actions and attitudes, we foster healthier, more respectful interactions with others. Responsibility encourages us to communicate honestly, admit our mistakes, and respect other people's boundaries and perspectives. Rather than blaming others when conflicts arise, we examine our role in the situation and look for constructive solutions. This approach builds trust and respect, as others recognize that we are accountable and dependable. In relationships, a sense of responsibility fosters empathy and understanding, as we are less likely to project our issues onto others and more likely to listen and respond thoughtfully. Another benefit of taking responsibility for your life is the freedom it brings. While it might seem counterintuitive, taking responsibility actually liberates us from the constraints of victimhood and dependence. When we stop blaming external factors, we realize that we have the power to change our lives. This freedom is empowering because it places our future in our own hands. We become less reliant on the approval, validation, or assistance of others, learning instead to trust ourselves. This autonomy allows us to pursue our goals with confidence, knowing that we are capable of overcoming challenges on our own terms. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your life leads to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. When we take ownership of our actions and decisions, we align ourselves with our goals and values, creating a life that is meaningful and intentional. Responsibility encourages us to continually strive for self-improvement, to learn from our mistakes, and to pursue goals that resonate with our true selves. This journey toward personal responsibility brings clarity and direction, helping us to prioritize what matters most and let go of distractions or dependencies that don't serve us. In the end, taking responsibility for your life is not about perfection. It's about being willing to learn, grow, and improve every day. It's about recognizing that while we may make mistakes, we are also capable of change and growth. Taking responsibility requires courage, honesty, and a commitment to living with integrity. It's a powerful choice that transforms our lives from the inside out, helping us to become the best versions of ourselves. When we embrace responsibility, we unlock our potential, gain control over our destiny, and pave the way for a life filled with purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Cultivating a growth mindset is one of the most transformative shifts a person can make in their approach to life. A growth mindset, a term popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents are not fixed traits but can be developed through dedication, learning, and hard work. In contrast, a fixed mindset sees abilities as static, leading people to think that their skills and intelligence are set in stone. By adopting a growth mindset, individuals become more open to challenges, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more willing to put effort into self-improvement. This shift not only enhances personal development, but also fosters greater fulfillment and success in all areas of life. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is that it allows individuals to view failure as an opportunity for learning rather than as a defeat. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges to prevent the risk of failure, fearing that failure reflects negatively on their worth or abilities. This avoidance limits growth as they miss out on the valuable lessons embedded in mistakes. Those with a growth mindset, however, see failure as a natural part of the learning process. They embrace mistakes as a source of feedback, an indicator of areas needing improvement. This perspective removes the fear of failure and instead transforms it into a tool for self-improvement, making it easier to take on challenges and pursue goals with confidence. The growth mindset also emphasizes the value of effort and persistence, which are essential for success. In a fixed mindset, effort is often seen as something that should be avoided if one is naturally talented. But with a growth mindset, effort is viewed as the very mechanism through which growth occurs. This view encourages individuals to put in the work required to develop their abilities, understanding that skills are honed through practice and dedication. Take, for instance, an aspiring musician who might feel discouraged by initial difficulties in learning an instrument. With a fixed mindset, they might give up, believing that they simply aren't talented. But with a growth mindset, they will persevere, viewing each practice session as a step closer to improvement. Over time, they begin to see the fruits of their labor and understand that their progress is a result of their persistence and effort, reinforcing their commitment to continued growth. Another critical aspect of cultivating a growth mindset is learning to embrace challenges. Challenges stretch our abilities and push us beyond our comfort zones. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges out of fear of failure or discomfort, opting for tasks they know they can accomplish easily. This approach may feel safer but ultimately limits growth and discovery. In contrast, those with a growth mindset actively seek out challenges, seeing them as opportunities to learn and expand their skill sets. For example, a professional who takes on a challenging project outside of their usual expertise may initially feel out of their depth. But by approaching the project as a learning opportunity rather than something to fear, they grow their skills and open themselves up to future possibilities. Challenges are no longer obstacles but rather stepping stones that facilitate development, resilience, and a sense of accomplishment. Feedback, too, plays a pivotal role in fostering a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset often view feedback as criticism, something that threatens their self-image or implies that they are somehow deficient. This reaction can prevent them from fully engaging with constructive advice, ultimately limiting their ability to improve. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset welcome feedback as a valuable tool for improvement. They view constructive criticism not as a reflection of their worth, but as guidance that helps them understand what they can do better. This openness to feedback enhances their capacity for growth, as they're constantly learning how to refine their approach and improve. Rather than taking feedback personally, they see it as an external insight that aids their journey of self-improvement. Cultivating a growth mindset also requires challenging the inner dialogue we have with ourselves. Our thoughts and beliefs have a profound impact on our behaviors, and often fixed mindset thinking manifests as self-limiting beliefs and negative self-talk. Statements like "I'm just not good at math," or "I'll never be able to speak confidently in public" reflect a fixed mindset that sets mental boundaries around our potential. To cultivate a growth mindset, it's essential to become aware of these thoughts and actively replace them with more constructive, growth-oriented statements. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," we can shift to, "I can't do this yet, but I'm working on it." This simple reframing opens up possibilities and reinforces the belief that, with effort and time, improvement is possible. Over time, these small shifts in language create a powerful foundation of positive, growth-oriented beliefs. A growth mindset also fosters resilience and adaptability, qualities that are essential in an ever-changing world. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, whether they come in the form of personal disappointments, career obstacles, or unexpected life changes. Those with a fixed mindset often struggle to cope with these disruptions, viewing them as insurmountable challenges. In contrast, individuals with a growth mindset adapt more easily to change, seeing setbacks as temporary and as part of a larger learning journey. This adaptability makes them more resilient, better able to bounce back from adversity, and more capable of handling change with optimism and a problem-solving approach. They know that growth is a continuous process, and they approach setbacks with the same determination they would any other challenge. Furthermore, a growth mindset enhances relationships by fostering empathy, openness, and patience. When people view their own abilities as malleable, they also tend to see the potential for growth in others. They are more likely to offer encouragement, support, and constructive feedback to those around them, creating an environment that values improvement and progress. This perspective leads to healthier relationships built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to growth. Instead of labeling others based on their current abilities or shortcomings, those with a growth mindset offer grace and understanding, recognizing that everyone is on their own journey of improvement. In cultivating a growth mindset, it's also essential to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Acknowledging milestones and improvements, even those that seem minor, reinforces the belief that effort leads to growth. This practice encourages continued motivation and reinforces the idea that learning is a rewarding, ongoing journey. Each step forward, each skill acquired, and each new lesson learned builds momentum, making it easier to continue embracing challenges and seeking improvement. In conclusion, cultivating a growth mindset involves embracing challenges, viewing effort as essential, welcoming feedback, and maintaining a positive internal dialogue. It's a transformative approach that empowers individuals to reach their fullest potential, allowing them to navigate life with resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to continuous improvement. With a growth mindset, life becomes an open field of opportunities, each challenge an invitation to learn, each setback a lesson in resilience, and each success a reminder that we are capable of far more than we often believe. By embracing this mindset, we set ourselves on a path of lifelong growth, fulfillment, and boundless possibility.